Hello gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special shout out and a special thank you to Square Enix for sponsoring today's video and hooking me up with a review key for Star Ocean: The Divine Force for PlayStation 5. And the footage you guys are seeing in here is PlayStation 5 gameplay in the performance mode, meaning it's running at a solid, in my case, 1080p, 60 frames per second. And I gotta say, this game is really buttery smooth and I am enjoying it a ton so far, especially the combat. This is a really fun game, so I want to give a special thank you and again a shout out to Square Enix for hooking me up with this and giving me an opportunity to showcase this game off, because I do know this was one of their bigger and more popular titles for the year, and me being a smaller creator, I'm honestly grateful for that. So thank you to them. I know I've been sucking them off for the past minute, but you guys get the idea, damn it. I'm just grateful, saying thank you. But anyway, what is Star Ocean: The Divine Force? If you're not familiar with Star Ocean, it is a very popular JRPG series that's been with Square Enix for, God, I don't know how long. I have played about one or two Star Ocean games in the past. I do not have a ton of experience with the series, but I've always been curious about it. There was even one Star Ocean game that I wanted to play last generation on the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, I don't remember the subtitle of the game. I just remember it was a Star Ocean title, and I never got around to playing that specific game. So once I saw this one, I was like, ooh, I'm definitely going to give this new Star Ocean game a try, especially since you guys know me. I'm a geek for like futuristic and sci-fi looking stuff. And the thing about this game is, right, that's the cool thing about this game. It takes those two worlds and blends them together. Like for example, I'll tell you guys how the story starts off. It starts off as this character named Ray. He's like a space pirate or mercenary or something like that. He's in a ship and he's literally from like another planet, galaxy, or something like that. And his ship with his crewmates, they are attacked by another random ship from one of the opposing, I guess, colonies, planets, or I'm not quite sure. I'm not far enough in the story yet to know exactly who attacked them, but we just know it was some type of opposing force. And Ray gets sent down to this planet where things are, they look like an older fantasy-like style of civilization. He's all futuristic and Phantasy Star-like, and the people here are more like, old school, probably like looking like they're around something in like the early 1900s or something like that. I don't know exactly what time period it takes in, but they're from an era that's a lot earlier in time. So it takes like the sci-fi futuristic thing and it blends it with the old school fantasy like vibes and stuff like that. I'm really not too good of a judge on what time period this game is taking place in, so that's a little bit confusing to me, I'm not gonna lie. But once I saw them combine sci-fi with fantasy, that was that was it to me. You guys know how much I love sci-fi and futuristic games and stuff like that. I enjoy them with my shooters. I like a lot of futuristic things. I enjoy them in my RPGs, hence my love for games like Phantasy Star and stuff like that. So when I saw this, having that take and blending the two together, I was just like, bam. But anyway, once Ray gets to this planet, he meets these two individuals named Letitia. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. If I'm butchering it, please forgive me. And Albert. And these two, they're all suspicious of him. They're looking at his futuristic gear. They're freaked out by his ship. They're like, dude, what are you? Basically, they get attacked by some creature. They hand them a weapon. And they basically all end up working on their quest together for two different jobs. Ray is down here looking for one of his abandoned crewmates who also crash landed somewhere on Letitia and Albert's planet. And Letitia and Albert, they are searching for someone on their own. So they all decide to team up and say, hey, well, we'll make a deal. You help me find my buddy, I'll help you find your buddy, blah 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 blah. And basically the story just goes from there. You end up embarking on a bunch of quests, fighting monsters, doing all kinds of crazy things and stuff like that. I purposely used the footage that I've used in the past two gameplays, so that way I don't get too much into like story spoilers and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about the story too much in the game and everything. Just so you guys, in case you do want to check out Star Ocean and everything, you can experience all that for yourself. So the things I do appreciate about Star Ocean is, for one, The next gen version, at least, I'm not sure about PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions, but the PlayStation 5 and Series X and S versions, of course PC, they all have different graphical modes. There's a high frame rate mode, and then there's, of course, the whole 4K 30 FPS, so you can feel like more the quality mode and the prettier visuals and stuff like that. My only beef and issue with this when it comes to these modes is with the frame rate mode, and specifically, and even a little bit on the 4K side, when you look at the cutscenes in the game compared to the gameplay, it just looks like there's this slight blur or fuzz over the characters and environment and everything that's going on. I don't know if it's a type of built-in motion blur and stuff like that, but when you play the game, you'll notice that the cutscenes are just clearer than the actual, on-screen gameplay itself. And it's not that, it's a CG cutscene where the characters are rendered in a whole nother fidelity or anything like that. No, it's just a slight, brightness difference or something between the two things. I don't know why that happens, but I do hope that's something that they can change or address. Or if it's something, to balance graphical features for the sake of the consoles and hardware and stuff like that. I have no idea, but that's just one thing, I'm not going to say not too crazy about, but I just saw that. Just makes me wonder, why is it there? The soundtrack for Star Ocean is simply awesome. There's even this really amazing J-Rock song at the beginning of the game, which I've totally fallen in love with and is actually stuck in my head. Unfortunately, I can't play it in this video for copyright reasons. The combat in this game is a lot of fun. The only thing with the combat is I'm not too fond of the AP system. Like when you have action-based combat games with light attacks and heavy attacks, then you have special abilities and stuff like that. I really wish they would have just went with, the whole simple, your light attacks and heavy attacks are unlimited, and your abilities use some type of mana, MP, or power gauge or something like that. I don't like how when you run out of AP, you can't attack at all. It leaves you so vulnerable to the enemy. Don't get me wrong, there are ways to build up your AP in the game. It's a good strategic base for combat, but I'm really not too crazy about the AP system. I wish, they used more of a traditional, just unlimited slash 'em up system, because the combat in here is so good. But when that AP stops, I find myself always looking, waiting for it to recharge, and finding myself, a little bit more vulnerable to the enemy and things like that. And it bugs me a little, but that's just a personal preference of mine. Some people may be cool with that, but me, that just bugs me a little bit. But other than that, guys, I think Star Ocean and the Divine Force is a really awesome game. And if you guys are playing on last gen or next gen and you're looking for a good single player RPG, that's by Square Enix, something they specialize with, I definitely think you all should check this out. But anyway, y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like button. I do have 2 gameplay videos going up along with this first impressions where you guys can check out. So if you just want to check out some raw gameplay without hearing my voice, feel free to check those out. They're uploaded on the channel now. Hope you all enjoyed. See y'all in the next one. Peace out.